Due to Jensen Huang's remarks at Goldman, the Oracle, and a fatal exclusive interview conducted outside the White House, this came back to AI. Larry Ellison's comments during the Oracle conference call and everything that emerged from the Oracle data, of course, are all part of what you and I went through. Microsoft also gave presentations at Communicopia and Goldman Sachs, focusing heavily on artificial intelligence and all of its opportunities. So do you consider yourself more of a believer? You have been doubtful. Well, no. Are you tired of losing money in poor odds? The solution is stake. These incredible odds have the potential to transform your life. Your money may be multiplied by 1,000. For what reason are you waiting? Here it is. Here it is. Hear it. No. What happened? Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. Drake, one of the most well-known musicians in the world, is even playing it. What is Plinko's maximum bet? Yes, click the link below to start the celebration. I've always believed that artificial intelligence has the ability to change the world. What it will mean for society as a whole is what I have been and still am worried about. I have no doubts about what will ultimately transpire. Divergent opinions are still present. The first is held by the Sequoia camp, which we all began discussing earlier this summer with Sequoia's initial report. We discussed and questioned the return on invested capital, whether it would eventually find its way into apps, and how this would all work out from a value proposition. However, I'm not skeptical about whether or not this will change everything. You're not, Jim? Excellent, as I haven't been. You are aware of that. Yes, it's amusing. This has been alcohol for about 18 months, and it's supposed to cure cancer, Jensen Huang explains when you talk to him. In other words, does it treat cancer? And you say, you take a moment to clarify that's not the purpose. The goal is to obtain data instantaneously that would otherwise take years to compile. That's nice. Recent instances where doctors were still able to identify cases of breast cancer more accurately than AI at the time raised skepticism, without a question. However, the situation is current. He told me that he has no concerns about Nvidia's performance, just so you know. He is asking how much it will cost. Ellison from Oracle has now stated that the expense will be incalculable due to the need to stay up to date with neural networks. The spending never stops. They seem to be building, and one of the main questions about this concept, which Sequoia at least supports, is that one day it will be sort of finished. Since all the data will be absorbed, you won't have to spend as much money on GPUs. Though not quite complete, the generative models, the huge language models, will be substantially complete. It won't necessarily be value generated by those running the models, but you will go to the next round. Correct. However, I do believe that one of the things, you see what Tesla is discussing, for example. Tesla is discussing robotics, after all. He is discussing the development of true self-driving technology. Speaking about self-driving, some of the applications are similar to chemistry, which I was able to drop because I knew it would negatively impact my transcript. I realized that this was about attempting to accomplish fundamental rather than applied. Jensen is doing the fundamentals. Elon is doing the application. And there is a lot of application, but chips too, which leads us to yesterday's White House appearance when Jensen Huang discussed AI and the national rollout. The degree of public-private collaboration with the government. He was apprehended by Megan Sella. Listen to it if you missed it. We've got to make sure that everybody understands the needs coming, the opportunities of it, the challenges of it, and do it in the most efficient and scalable way we can, of course. Do you believe that the federal government should play a part in this case by combining private and federal investment? Given the extremely rapid growth rate, public-private cooperation is most likely required in this field. Even though teaching artificial intelligence uses a lot of energy, employing the model is ultimately more important than training it. Therefore, it also saves a lot of energy when it is used. Covered a large area. Yes. Look, all right, really intriguing. Training, using. That's just so crucial, you know. Though they have more inference than training, I believe Lisa Su and AMD are the best. And what's important is that when you acquire an Nvidia chip, it comes with a huge catalog of features. It's not a chip, though. A Blackwell has 7 chips on it. We need to understand that it's a supercomputer, an 80-pound machine. We must stop referring to it as a chip as people simply respond, oh, it's just a chip. That's what you get when you combine them all. Naturally, returning to Ellison's remarks, and his as well, we discuss power, power consumption, the necessity of it, and the fact that, Ellison did mention having a group of former utility executives at Oracle who were attempting to solve the problem, considering the number of data centers they're constructing, considering the power consumption as well. Nuclear power is being recommissioned. We must. There is nothing we can do. No. Nvidia made a significant resurgence. We witnessed a sustained display of strength from companies like Apple, which is currently, in my opinion, unquestionably leading the market cap race. Then, although today is an exception, we've seen tiny caps struggle more than some may have anticipated. In this market, which has greater sway, both are significant, and they represent various investor perspectives, The top firms in the most significant themes, like Apple and Nvidia, are still, in my opinion, the ones you want to own because they will be successful in whatever cycle. There are significant tailwinds for cyclical equities, and small caps in particular, when the market starts to think the Fed will push rates back towards neutral, which includes cost of money, mortgage, and auto loan rates. Because of this, I believe I would still like to place a very informed wager that small caps have a strong chance of performing exceptionally well over the course of the upcoming year, including from now until the end of the year. We haven't discussed your granny photographs in a long time. Please remind us of your reasoning for liking some of these stocks. Indeed, the foundation of granny shots is the notion that certain themes, like as the multi-secular drivers of an economy, exist. Additionally, our initial granny shot model examined millennials as a generation, AI, cybersecurity, and energy security. The greatest equities in those topics are what we then want to acquire, and that's actually how the granny photographs came to be. Additionally, companies like Apple and Nvidia are listed. Nvidia has been there since 2019. Therefore, I believe that it's always crucial for investors to locate the finest firms and hang on to them for the duration of the cycle, rather than trading the top names. All right, a good reminder. I appreciate you being here, Tom Lee. Thank you. Despite a difficult period following the release of its data in mid-August, Nvidia's stock is up around 15% this week. Joseph Moore, senior semiconductor analyst at Morgan Stanley, is here with us now to share more about the company and the industry. And simply tell me, Joseph, what has been going on this week? What is driving the stock's momentum in either direction? Yes, what transpired over the last few weeks was perhaps the biggest surprise to me. The quarter was excellent, Before Nvidia started doing it a year and a half ago, they were ahead by $2 billion. And I am aware that they are struggling with these expectations, as well as certain inquiries regarding gross margin. However, the sell-off truly caught me off guard. This is our first choice. The demand is really high. Additionally, it's crucial to concentrate on product cycles and similar topics at this time. We want the business to follow through on it. However, the business's strength is actually the main problem. And at a conference this week, Jensen told us that. We have now heard from several important customer-side executives on their dedication to these workloads. So, in my opinion, this is still a really interesting story. Furthermore, I'm not sure why it was up this week. Why it was down so much last week is beyond me. However, the stock is fairly priced and has excellent future development prospects. Will Hopper's gross margins be higher than Blackwell's? Perhaps a little, I believe. I believe that at one point during the product's March launch, they sort of talked about certain price points on CNBC, which is a little out of the ordinary. Their main concern, in my opinion, is whether we can keep adding value. Can we keep expanding the market? Furthermore, I believe that they are likely more concerned with that than the finer points of gross margin. A certain amount of pressure will be present in the upcoming quarters.